Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We are coming to you from Chicopee, Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining me is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Camus. He offers both public and private tours, as well as presentations of the local canal systems, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks and streets in Holyoke, South Hadley, and Chicopee, Mass. Now, you actually lead these tours and give these presentations yourself, is that correct?
That's right, and not this one though. So keep that in mind. If some other group is doing tours of subject, I don't bother, but I do a lot of my own.
So today he'll be educating us on the murals in Holyoke.
All right. In the past couple of years, this year 2023, since 2022, and this year, there's been lots of murals put onto the brick sides of older buildings around Holyoke. This has really beautified the city. There's gorgeous ones around, there's okay ones, there's very small ones, and they all have a good reason. Almost all are done by different, unique artists. And they sign at the end. If you go to what's called Beyond Walls website, you can learn who's doing what and what year they're done, and get a picture of it and get a map. And everyone's going to develop their favorite look. Of course, I have my favorites. And they want to continue this trend in the future and get some up by Route State 391, for instance, visible from the highway. That hasn't been done yet, but it will. And if it keeps it up, Holyoke will be filled with murals. I think if you count the very old murals around Holyoke, and you count up the newer ones, there's probably about 41 of them around. About 20 of them have been done in the last 2 years. Now, is this a good trend? I'm pretty sure most people like it. It's better than looking at old decaying brick. But if you love brick itself, maybe it's not such a good thing. So everyone's going to have their own take on the situation.
So what is the Beyond the Walls project?
All right. It's a Massachusetts-based project trying to get murals put up into gateway cities of Massachusetts. These are cities where it was industrialized at one point, and it's gotten, since the age of industrialism, it's gotten that a lot of poor people have moved into these cities, and they're trying to spruce up the environment, make these murals, which have very high symbolic value to them and are very bright, make the people see these artworks and see this brightness around the city to make sure that their environment is a little better than it was. This group is trying to get as many of these as possible. I looked at a map of where they're doing it. It's spread out decently around almost all of Massachusetts. Not in the suburbs, not in the rural, but in these smaller cities, size of Holyoke around the Commonwealth.
And so quickly before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, if you want to find out more information or sign up for any of his various tours, you can check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. In there he has both videos of the various stops along each tour and also past and present photos of the historical sites throughout as well. And if you're interested in setting up a private tour, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And they are perfect for fun and educational outdoor activities for the whole family or for your group parties, especially those special occasions and get-togethers. And they are also good just for getting outdoors for the day. So getting back to our interview, what is your favorite mural in Holyoke?
All right, my favorite's the one at the corner of Hampden High Street at the northwest corner on the former Crafts building where the former Exchange Hall used to be. It's a very symbolic looking mural, very large, and its brightness really takes you by surprise. It really adds to the environment because that block might be said to have some blight to it. And there's a lot of other ones around the city, and if you go around and check them out, you'll probably develop your favorite. There's some that I don't like. There's one where a man has a chicken for a head, trying to symbolize something I don't like, so I don't like that one very much. But there's others, like one with a Godzilla-looking creature that I do like. So you'll get your own favorite. And there's maps of the murals around Holyoke from the past 2 years, and you can walk around and look at these. There's other murals around from decades ago too, and you can check these out. Most of them tend to be around Main Street area. and you can develop your favorite. You can go on tours. There was a bus tour this year in 2023 that included Springfield and Holyoke Murals. There was a walking tour this year. There was a walking tour last year. I'm sure there'll be one next year. I don't try to compete with these, so this podcast and the video I made on it do not try to take over these tours. I never do that for any tours, but what I'm trying to get you to do is be encouraged to go see these, and also to remember there's architecture and history to Holyoke that I have on my web pages, and the murals and my take on the history of Holyoke might help you look at Holyoke in a different way.
And so, what will this movement trend be in the future?
Okay, it'll trend probably towards having more murals in different places. Of course, they should never put it in a place that might detract. So, say, put it on the side of one of the modern buildings, not as good. Put it on the side of a building that's already very beautiful and important architecturally, such as the train station, would not be good. That was done by a most famous architect in American history. And you also, of course, need the permission of the owner. You need the permission of the city of Holyoke. They actually put a moratorium very briefly on murals. The city council did, but that was taken away, and more murals are put in. In the year 2024, I think they're planning to have some more. And I told you along 391, they plan to put up raised murals on boards so that people can see them from the interstate. A good idea. And maybe some smaller ones around the area will be fine. And there's no reason for that. Maybe even some of the surrounding communities can get more. The Springfield has a lot. Chicopee, I think, got its first one recently. But spread into Granby or South Hadley or Amherst, where you don't expect them, maybe that would be a good idea, too.
And thank you, Robert, for educating us on your tours. And we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And you can also tune into a large selection of our other podcasts and much more at his website at hoyokecanaltour.org. And again, you can email him directly for private tours or to inquire about anything else at his email, bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And be sure to keep an eye out for his upcoming 2024 tours and more as they become available. Thank you for tuning in.